Welcome to a transformative journey of self-awareness and growth. In a world that constantly demands our attention and energy, it's essential to pause and re-evaluate the habits that may be hindering our progress. In this thought-provoking video, we unveil the 30 anti-Stoic habits that could be holding you back from embracing a more mindful and purposeful life. From seeking constant comfort to resisting change, these behaviors can subtly erode your well-being and potential. Join us as we delve into each habit, offering insights and strategies to break free from their grasp. It's time to liberate yourself from these counterproductive tendencies and pave the way for a more resilient, fulfilled, and stoic existence. 1. Worrying about things you cannot control. Stoics believe that we should focus on the things that we can control and let go of the things that we cannot. Worrying about things that are out of our control is a waste of time and energy. When we worry about things that are out of our control, we are essentially giving our power away to those things. We are also making ourselves more stressed and anxious. Instead of worrying, we should focus on the things that we can control and take steps to improve our situation. 2. Being overly attached to material possessions. Stoics believe that we should not be attached to material possessions as they are ultimately fleeting. Instead, we should focus on the things that are truly important, such as our relationships and our values. When we are overly attached to material possessions, we are essentially making our happiness dependent on things that are outside of our control. We are also setting ourselves up for disappointment, as material possessions can be lost or damaged. Instead of being attached to material possessions, we should focus on the things that are truly important, such as our relationships and our values. 3. Taking things personally. Stoics believe that we should not take things personally, as the actions of others are often motivated by their own personal circumstances. Instead, we should focus on our own reactions and how we can respond in a positive way. When we take things personally, we are essentially assuming that other people's actions are a reflection of us. This is often not the case. Instead of taking things personally, we should try to understand why the other person is behaving the way they are and respond in a positive way. 4. Resenting others. Stoics believe that we should not resent others, as this will only harm us in the long run. Instead, we should try to understand why they are behaving the way they are and forgive them. Resenting others is a habit that can be very harmful to our own well-being. When we resent others, we are essentially holding on to negative emotions that can poison our minds and bodies. We are also giving our power away to those people. Instead of resenting others, we should try to forgive them and move on with our lives. 5. Being envious of others. Stoics believe that we should not be envious of others, as this is a waste of time and energy. Instead, we should focus on our own goals and achievements. When we are envious of others, we are essentially comparing ourselves to them and finding ourselves wanting. This can be a very destructive habit. Instead of being envious of others, we should focus on our own goals and achievements. 6. Being afraid of failure. Stoics believe that failure is a natural part of life and that it should not be feared. Instead, we should learn from our failures and use them to grow as individuals. Failure is a natural part of life. Everyone experiences it at some point. However, some people are afraid of failure and avoid taking risks. This can prevent them from achieving their goals. Stoics believe that we should not be afraid of failure, but rather learn from it and use it to grow as individuals. 7. Being impulsive. Stoics believe that we should not act impulsively, as this can lead to regret. Instead, we should take the time to think things through and make decisions that are in our best interests. Impulsive decisions are often made without thinking through the consequences. This can lead to problems in our personal and professional lives. Stoics believe that we should take the time to think things through and make decisions that are in our best interests. 8. Being overly emotional. Stoics believe that we should not let our emotions control us. Instead, we should strive to be calm and rational in all situations. Our emotions can sometimes control us, leading us to make rash decisions or say things we don't mean. Stoics believe that we should not let our emotions control us, but rather strive to be calm and rational in all situations. 9. Being self-indulgent. Stoics believe that we should not be excessively attached to pleasure. Instead, we should find a balance between our desires and our responsibilities. Self-indulgence is the excessive pursuit of pleasure. This can lead to addiction, health problems, and financial difficulties. Stoics believe that we should find a balance between our desires and our responsibilities. 10. Complaining. Complaining is a way of giving our power away to the things that we are complaining about. It also makes us feel negative and helpless. Stoics believe that we should focus on solutions instead of problems. When we complain, we are essentially focusing on the negative aspects of our lives. This can lead to a negative mindset, and it can make it difficult to see the good things in our lives. 11. Blaming others. When things go wrong, it is easy to blame others. However, Stoics believe that we should take responsibility for our own actions and choices. Blaming others will not change the situation, and it will only make us feel worse. When we blame others, we are essentially avoiding taking responsibility for our own actions. This can lead to feelings of resentment and anger, and it can also prevent us from learning from our mistakes. 12. Dwelling on the past. The past is gone and cannot be changed. Stoics believe that we should focus on the present moment and use our energy to make the best of it. When we dwell on the past, we are essentially holding on to negative emotions that can poison our minds and bodies. We are also preventing ourselves from moving on with our lives. 13. Worrying about the future. The future is uncertain and cannot be predicted. Stoics believe that we should focus on the present moment and take things one day at a time. When we worry about the future, we are essentially wasting our energy on things that we cannot control. This can lead to anxiety and stress, and it can also prevent us from enjoying the present moment. 14. Being judgmental. Judging others is a way of making ourselves feel superior. It also prevents us from seeing the good in others. Stoics believe that we should focus on our own flaws and strive to be better people. When we judge others, we are essentially putting ourselves above them. This can lead to a sense of entitlement and arrogance, and it can also prevent us from forming meaningful relationships with others. 15. Being too critical of others. We all make mistakes, and Stoics believe that we should not be too critical of others. We should focus on the good in others and try to help them grow. When we are too critical of others, we are essentially being unkind and judgmental. This can damage our relationships and make it difficult to build trust. 16. Being attached to our opinions. We all have our own opinions, but Stoics believe that we should not be attached to them. Our opinions can change over time, and we should be open to new ideas. When we are attached to our opinions, we are essentially closing ourselves off to new possibilities. We are also making ourselves more resistant to change. 17. Being critical of ourselves. We all make mistakes, but Stoics believe that we should not be critical of ourselves. We should learn from our mistakes and move on. When we are critical of ourselves, we are essentially beating ourselves up. This can lead to low self-esteem and depression. 18. Being impatient. We all want things to happen quickly, but Stoics believe that we should be patient. Good things come to those who wait. When we are impatient, we are essentially setting ourselves up for disappointment. We are also making ourselves more stressed and anxious. 19. Being controlling. We cannot control everything that happens to us, but Stoics believe that we should focus on the things that we can control. We should not waste our energy trying to control things that are out of our control. When we try to control things that are out of our control, we are essentially setting ourselves up for failure. This can lead to frustration and anger. 20. Being afraid of change. Change is a natural part of life. Everyone experiences it at some point. However, some people are afraid of change and resist it. This can prevent them from growing and evolving as individuals. When we are afraid of change, we are essentially closing ourselves off to new possibilities. We are also making ourselves more resistant to change. 21. Being we are also making ourselves more resistant to growth. 21. Being easily offended. When someone says or does something that we disagree with, it is easy to get offended. However, Stoics believe that we should not be easily offended. We should try to understand the other person's perspective and respond in a calm and rational way. When we are easily offended, we are essentially letting other people control our emotions. This can lead to feelings of anger, resentment, and bitterness. 22. Being quick to anger. Anger is a natural emotion, but it is important to control it. Stoics believe that we should not be quick to anger. We should take a few moments to calm down before responding to a situation. When we are quick to anger, we are essentially letting our emotions control us. This can lead to impulsive decisions and actions that we later regret. 23. Being dishonest. Dishonesty is a form of deception. Stoics believe that we should be honest in all our dealings with others. We should not lie or deceive others, even if it is for our own benefit. When we are dishonest, we are essentially breaking trust with others. This can damage our relationships and make it difficult to build trust in the future. 24. Being greedy. Greed is the excessive desire for material possessions. Stoics believe that we should not be greedy. We should be content with what we have and not strive for material possessions that are beyond our means. When we are greedy, we are essentially putting material possessions above our values. This can lead to us making decisions that are not in our best interests. 25. Being materialistic. Materialism is the belief that material possessions are more important than other things, such as relationships and experiences. Stoics believe that we should not be materialistic. We should focus on the things that are truly important in life, such as our relationships and our values. When we are materialistic, we are essentially putting material possessions above our relationships and our values. This can lead to us feeling empty and unfulfilled. 26. Being arrogant. Arrogance is the excessive belief in one's own importance. Stoics believe that we should not be arrogant. We should be humble and recognize that we are not better than others. When we are arrogant, we are essentially putting ourselves above others. This can lead to us being disrespectful and condescending. 27. Being selfish. Selfishness is the excessive concern for one's own needs and desires. Stoics believe that we should not be selfish. We should be selfless and consider the needs of others before our own. When we are selfish, we are essentially putting our own needs and desires above the needs of others. This can lead to us being unkind and inconsiderate. 28. Being vain. Vainness is the excessive concern with one's own appearance. Stoics believe that we should not be vain. We should focus on our inner beauty, not our outer appearance. When we are vain, we are essentially putting our own appearance above our inner worth. This can lead to us being insecure and unhappy. 29. Being lazy. Laziness is the avoidance of work or activity. Stoics believe that we should not be lazy. We should be active and productive members of society. When we are lazy, we are essentially wasting our time and potential. This can lead to us feeling unfulfilled and dissatisfied. 30. Being overly attached to our beliefs. We all have our own beliefs, but Stoics believe that we should not be overly attached to them. Our beliefs can change over time, and we should be open to new ideas. When we are overly attached to our beliefs, we are essentially closing ourselves off to new possibilities. We are also making ourselves more resistant to change. As you reflect on these 30 anti-Stoic habits that often find their way into our lives, remember that cultivating a Stoic mindset involves intentional effort. By letting go of these counterproductive habits, you'll unlock the potential for growth, wisdom, and resilience. Make the conscious choice to embrace the Stoic principles that empower you to navigate life's challenges with grace, wisdom, and an unshakable sense of self. As you embark on this journey, may you find the strength to break free from these habits and embrace a life guided by the profound wisdom of Stoicism. Remember, true liberation lies in mastering your mind and choosing the path of enduring tranquility.